Dances with the Kobolds, and tonight we are playing the Demonplague using Matt Colville's Strongholds and Followers rules. If you would please, but before we begin, if you would please take a look in the doobly-doo down below. You will find a link to our sister shows and the Heroes Wanted Discord group for pickup games and the like. And you also find our link for Extra Life. For Toronto Sick Kids Hospital, please consider donating. Tonight I am joined by...
Hi, I'm Lord. I'm playing Tafina Boondoggles and Sasha the Cave Badger. We're a combo pair of a Forest Gnome Ranger and his Beast Companion.
Alta!
I didn't realize it was me. My name is Clay, and I'm playing the character Alta. She is a character who has dissociative disorder, so she's going to be quite interesting. And my wife, who's sitting beside me, his name is Alta. So this is going to be interesting. Yes.
I'm Patrick. I'm playing Arkady Renko, a ghostwise halfling rogue inquisitive.
Hi, I'm Ian. I'll be playing Kevin Hillman, the human drunken monk.
Thank you all for joining and playing with me this evening.
I am not playing today.
Oh shit! Sorry.
I'm not playing today, everybody. My name is Brendan. I am not playing Luthor Greypaw. Who is absolutely not a human druid.
Oh, you.
No, he's not playing. We don't have to talk to him tonight. No, finally we don't have to talk to him.
Okay.
Anyway, I would like to thank you all for watching and being with us this evening. The last we left our heroes on pursuit of this strange meteorite with food that crash landed near the Luna Valley, and with food aid from both the government and the church. You finally make your way to Tomar's Crossing, the sort of main big city, the big city in the Luna Valley. Everywhere else in the Luna Valley has basically been destroyed in the after effects of the comet and the glacier melting that covered most of this whole valley. Tomar's Crossing has survived because it is built on quite a large plateau. You entered into Tomar's Crossing and found a bunch of weary people in a city on the edge dealing with a whole bunch of refugees and food shortages. After Hecate met with the matron of the church and church here, you agree. Sorry, let me go backwards. You met with the matron of the Church of the Divines here in Tomar's Crossing, and you were able to push. Hecate was able to push away some bullies for bullying clerics from the other towns away from her that were trying to take over her parish. There you met Tafina and took her into your party. From there you made contact with the military regiment that is stationed here in Tomar's Crossing and began handing out food supplies. You then used some soldiers' aid to hand out food supplies to the other two refugee camps to keep order and prevent a food riot. Kevin dressed up as Taranka Tim, friend to all the children, and passed out delicious taranka, a type of fish jerky, hematogen, a iron blood candy, and a sweet called pastilla out to all the children and got mobbed. There, Arkady noticed that a lot of the food supplies had the seal of House Grey on them, and the pastilla candies all had a little message from the current heir to the seat of House Grey, Lady Gina Gray, saying that she was praying for the children and hopes this sweet will brighten up their day. Our kitty also knows that Lady Gina Gray is currently the cousin of the current king. So that's a bit of political intrigue there. After that, I believe we ended our session. Did I forget anything, guys?
We bullied the baker and paid him 5 gold to bake bread for everybody.
Yes, I totally forgot about that. Thank you. Thank you, Patrick. You brought grain to the mill and bakery in town, where you met the baker, who appeared very greedy, and his wife, and consult his wife, who seemed very sad and shaken up and anxious about the whole situation. However, you were able to persuade him to follow orders and begin baking bread and passing bread out around the town. That's where we ended it. So now that you guys have completed those tasks, you do have a feast tonight with the soldiers, but is there anything else you wanted to do first?
Kevin, I'm a little embarrassed, but we forgot to get everyone to sign off on the forms showing that we delivered the food. Do you mind running back to the baker and having him sign that while I go back to the military, and we'll just get their stamps so we can send off the paperwork and let everyone know that we have done our job.
Can do, sir. And I will run off towards the baker.
Alright, you run off towards the bakery, which is... Oh, no, that's what I wanted to do. The GM map has the numbers.
Oh, okay.
Makes it easier for me. You head off towards the bakery, and it's starting to... The smell of freshly baked bread spreads out all over the town, and there's almost a bunch of people right out in front looking at the bakery with hungry eyes. You're able to actually enter into the bakery and as you do, you see the baker sort of staring at the floor, and he seems sort of shocked and surprised at you, and he's like, "Oh, excuse me, just cleaning up around here. What did you need?"
Well, sir, I need you to sign this document right here, and here, and here, initial here, date of birth here, mother's maiden name there, sir, and, oh, no, thumbprint there, sir, no, sign there, initial there, and as I'm asking him all that, I want to look around. What the hell was he doing?
Roll me a perception check.
Perception or investigate?
Just a perception at this point. I think investigation's more in-depth looking. You have no idea if he might have just... You think he was being honest. He was just cleaning his floor.
What a good member of the Empire.
Yeah, oh yes, I'm a very good member of the Empire. Long live the king. Does this mean I'm an official vendor of record with the within the government, sir?
TBD, sir. I'll let you know.
Because that would really help me out over here. And then those greedy eyes come back again.
Well, sir, I will have to talk to my boss.
And he will say, Kevin, is that your name?
It is.
Old Flem here understands how things work in government. Business and government, they're not that different from one another.
Oh, I don't know about that, sir. It seems like in business you're trying to make money, but in government we tend to lose it.
Ha ha ha! Right, you are, but if we actually ran government like a business... Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. How about this? And he'll, kind of casually slip you a gold coin. It's gonna be hard being an intern, right? You don't get
Oh, no, sir, I couldn't possibly. I don't take tips.
And he just kind of looks at you like you like you're a weirdo, and he's like, and he sort of mutters under his breath and says, "I couldn't take any hints either." But it would really fine. It would really do good old Phlegm and the barrister family. Look at my children. A good turn if I were to become His Majesty's Royal Bakery of all of the Lunar Valley and possibly beyond.
Well, that's not for me to say, sir. I think you have to apply to a higher authority.
Well, why don't you go talk to your boss, and being I'm such a good citizen and all.
Okay, let's see if Kevin actually knows what he's talking about.
This has happened to you a couple times before. People suddenly get really, really friendly with you and start trying to give you gifts. And when it doesn't work, they seem to get so angry and storm off.
That is odd. I wonder why it is. I mean, I don't want to take a bribe. We're not allowed to. It's in the regulations. It's also against the law to hand out for a bribe, I thought. But anyway, I will take my document back to the party.
All right. Is there any place you want to go or see before the military banquet? Remember, you also wanted to touch base with Someth? Or do you guys want to head straight to the banquet?
Arkady.
Yes.
I really don't remember any of this, so
I think it might behoove us to find out what the people here know about the impact.
Oh,
I mean, the impact's
agreed.
been great. It's gotten warm. The glacier melted. Lots of things have died. We had to bring the food.
None of that is good.
You also, Kevin, you would know that the glacier was a magical glacier, and made this. And the main industry in this valley was ice harvesting to sell down south where they don't get ice.
But if it was a magical glacier, does that mean that the rock or whatever it was that fell was magical?
I have a feeling it was. I think
Go ahead,
we
sorry.
should go to the pub. Is that what what civilized people call it? Where you all go to drink. I think we should go there and see what we can find out.
Oh no, the pub is where Father goes to get angry.
and I thought I had issues.
Well, you don't, but the other one of you does.
What other one? What are you talking about?
Oh, I
You
never
make
know
the
what I'm talking about.
silliest comments. Shall we go to the pub? I could use a drink.
It would be interesting to see if they are out of alcohol the same way they were out of flour.
That would be tragic.
Well, it depends on the alcohol, I would think.
Mm.
The good stuff's probably still there, but that's because it's so expensive no one can buy it.
You
Shall-
seem
All
to
right.
know this town, Tafina. Where is the local watering hole?
Well, it's quite simple. It's right over, and
And cut to the DM, quickly flipping through the module.
I figured I'd been around town long enough that I should at least know where it is.
All right, before we go, Kevin will rummage through the back of his cart and pull out a large, you know those moonshine jugs? A glass one of those filled with a bright red liquid.
What?
Oh, I
what is
thought
that?
Kevin was going to start his jug band up.
Oh, that's when
Is
we
that-
empty this, sir.
Is that healing potion?
Beet juice. Kevin doesn't drink.
You would know.
I've
You would know that it's Journey's Tavern, and
Yeah, that place.
it's located at 6.
Open at 6, closes at 6, meals at 6.
Oh, so it's the big square building next to the mill.
Yes, this so-called tavern is just a large tent with moldy straw thrown on the ground to alleviate some of the mud. Behind a simple wood counter, a fair-skinned, tall, half-elf male with shoulder-length blonde hair serves watered-down ale and moonshine to a host of regulars. You note that there are no refugees from other parts of Luna Valley in the bar. A freshly painted wood sign set behind the bar reads, "No money, no service." And Telfina, you would know that there once was a proper tavern here, but when the meteor struck, it collapsed. So he just came out and put up a tent instead.
I will convey that to the party of, yeah, this is a current temporary structure because the last one got hit hard.
Was the meteor visible from here if it knocked over a building?
You hear it came right over the town. It was huge. There were huge, like, earthquakes and
Sonic boom?
a sonic boom. Yes.
Oh, I will head up to the barkeep and ask, how much is the ale or the shine, good sir?
Ah, I haven't seen you around here. Are you? What's your business? What's your business here? Another refugee looking for a free handout?
Oh, absolutely not. And I'll sort of show my insignia and just say, I've been sent down from the capital to assist as best possible. We delivered some food and the bread you smell baking over the fetid smell coming from this straw is from the grain that we brought with us. Hopefully we can assist as many as we can in the town. But we are curious as to what happened.
Well, at about sometime early in the morning, I was woken up by a sudden shock, and I felt this strange heat as well. Turns out my whole tavern was coming down on top of me. I luckily was able to escape, but the aftershocks completely knocked it down. And instead of looking for a handout, I just found myself some canvas and restarted my business.
That's very admirable. Again, how much is for the ale or the shine?
The ale is just a silver, and the moonshine is a copper. It's basically got rot gut, but it's all we got up here right now.
Alta walks around the bar, and is it quite quiet there? Is it? Is there anything
yes.
going on?
It is quite quiet for a tavern, anyway.
She goes to the barkeep and she goes, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
It seems kind of quiet in here for a tavern. I think you need some entertainment."
Now, see, this is the type of person we need. Pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. Yes, you may go into a corner and begin singing. Put out your hat. Entertain the folks. Good luck tonight.
Okay, great. All right. And I disappear into the corner.
I will take 4 ales and 1 empty glass, please, as my young companion here has brought his own, but I give 5 silver for everything. I will cover his corkage fee.
All right. 1 glass?
1 empty glass. He
Oh, I get it.
Beet juice.
Oh, I thought you were ordering, like, you were ordering 4 drinks just for yourself. And you're just going to keep
Oh.
pouring them into the glass one after one.
No. Four individual glasses and one empty one, please.
Of course, here you go. If you're with the government, if you mind me asking, are you just gonna take the refugees somewhere else? You're gonna rebuild the town? What's your plan with them?
First of all, we hope to aid them as best we can. I don't know about rebuilding or if things will be moved. That is well above my pay grade. Moreover, we're going to try and investigate what happened and see about this rock that fell from the sky and caused all this damage. No
Well-
point in fixing things if it's just going to get smashed again.
Well, I think you already have your answer. A rock fell from the sky. It happens occasionally, and we were just the unlucky sort to get trampled. Thank God it went to the mountains over there, not the town directly, or we would have all been killed.
Indeed. So did you see it firsthand?
No, it woke me up. I'm a tavern owner. I tend to go to bed late. Came woken up with my tavern coming down right on top of me.
What do you think we should do with the town? Should it be rebuilt or should we just move it?
Well, Tomar's Crossing is fine. The rest, every other town here has been destroyed, though, either through flooding or through mudslides. We'll survive here as we've always done, but there's too many mouths to feed and not enough room. I'm not sure what your superiors are planning, but they better do something soon with these refugees. Either take them out of the Luna Valley and take them to Vanavara and resettle them somewhere else, or build another town somewhere else.
Is there somewhere nearby that you think would be a good locale?
Honestly, I don't really know with all these mudslides and all. And also with the glacier gone, there goes the ice trade. I mean, a river harbor town would always have at least some trade, but that was our big moneymaker.
And how well do you think you'll be able to survive without the moneymaker being here anymore?
The people at Tomar's Crossing have survived by ourselves for a very long time. We were a fully independent town even before the Surf Freedom Act a couple decades ago.
And is the leadership here good?
Not really. They're just letting all these refugees stay here. Everyone's looking for a free handout. They're eating up all our food. And honestly, that smell's just going to bring more of them. So no, I don't like the leadership.
I chime in and go, "They took our jobs!"
I was just about to say that myself.
He points to you and says, "See, I like her."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Write a song about that.
Well, I have something prepared when you are ready. I don't know if anybody can be ready for this level of music, but I'll try.
I'll hand out the glass to Kevin and the drinks to Tafina and Uthor and Alta.
Thank you.
I nurse it.
Never actually been in a bar before.
Really?
Not a whole lot of them out in the woods.
Oh, I guess not. Yeah. All right. Is there a good crowd growing yet?
Yes. Do you want to play a song?
I'll work the room. Just wait for a couple more minutes before. I need a bigger crowd, Working the crowd. Go ahead.
As it gets into later afternoon, a bigger crowd does start to come in.
Nice. Okay. All right. Great. And what's everybody doing
Back-
at the table here?
All right, so as Kevin pours his big thing of beet juice, you'll notice a few drops that hit the table actually start burning through the table a little bit.
Ugh. What are you drinking?
Are you sure those were beets, Kevin?
Oh no, this is Grandma's 3-season beet juice.
Do you mind if I try a drop?
Yes.
You do mind?
No, you can absolutely have some. It's Grandma always said it's the best medicine and the best thing to get you up in the morning.
Uther will take a quick swig.
Very alcoholic, like incredibly alcoholic.
Wait.
Uther has
So-
never had alcohol before.
So you're saying it's like a 90 proof
Yeah,
It's
beet
ever
vodka?
yeah.
Hey, why
Wait,
not?
how are you not drunk then?
Well, that's what I'm.
Kevin.
That's how I said I don't drink. If anybody passes him an ale, and he'll taste it. Is this what? This is what alcohol is? No, this is what they give babies back home when the goat won't give no more.
What? Where?
It is very slowly coming into focus why Kevin is. How Kevin is.
And I think your vision is very quickly going out of focus if you're drinking that.
Mhm.
Yeah, he took a quick sip, a quick swig, and like just having never actually drank before,
Okay.
almost throwing up.
Wait, you can still have a still in the woods.
Druids aren't very alcohol friendly, are they?
I mean,
Druids,
what about
druids
They
don't drink.
could be. They
what?
could
They
be.
get drunk, they have sex, and then they kill a virgin. Of course, they love alcohol.
No. Alcohol is a very, very integral part to many things in society. You can pickle in it. You can,
Yeah, but
disinfect with it. Like it is a very useful item. So of course it would have been produced.
Okay.
by people living alone in the woods who
Sometimes
have never been
Most-
trained to.
Most definitely.
some Native American
Yeah.
tribes had alcohol. It was really just the Inuit that didn't, because
All
they didn't have anything to make it out of.
Mhm.
Basically, if you have some fruit lying around and you ferment
Regardless.
it, you got yourself a alcoholic beverage.
Wait, doesn't fruit just vanish after a day?
Have you
That's
just been
good
eating
berry.
good berries your whole life?
Perhaps.
I think I'm ready to perform. Are you guys ready?
Ready?
Wait, we have to perform?
I am performing. That is my role. 18. I call this song.
Hang on.
Do they have a
Guidance.
P? I'm assuming. Oh, okay. Let's guidance it up. How do I roll a d4 again? Oh, there it is. I grab it and I just.
Yeah,
roll
you
it,
just
right?
grab and roll.
All right.
Nice.
Ooh.
They like that
You
22.
do a stellar performance.
Ah! You haven't even let me perform. I'm hurt. I have a song that I dedicate to my new group of friends, and it's called Bohemian
Friends is a strong word.
Rhapsody. Is there a piano? I'm assuming there's a piano because every bar has at least something like a piano.
I'm going to say yes.
All right.
There's a very dirt and very creaky, barely holding together piano in the corner that somehow
I
survived.
start. I snap and I tell them to do the lights, even though there's probably torches.
Isn't it afternoon?
Sick of your real life. Welcome to fantasy. Werewolf and changeling. My escapes from reality. Just roll your dice. Look up to the skies and pray.
And the hound dog's
I'm
behind.
just a human. I need no sympathy. Rolls are easy come, easy go. Roll it high, roll it low. Anyway the orcs come doesn't really matter to me. And then I continue. Thank you very much.
It is the most beautiful performance this bar has ever
That's
seen.
That's the first time it didn't make my ears bleed, Tafina.
Excuse me. I rolled 22, so you're amazed. You have no choice.
No, I mean personally, that hurt my ears.
Yeah. Really? Wow.
I'm sensitive to people who are not on key.
Oh,
Oh.
excuse me. Excuse me.
Oh!
You're welcome to step up and do a better job. Oh, what was that? Silence? I thought so. Okay.
You put your left foot in, you pull your left foot out, you pull your left foot in.
I did it.
and
I did
you
it
know.
last night with Kanan Days. Thank you very much.
Excuse me. I heard your Canaan days, and you really didn't do it better last night.
Is this is this Kevin blowing into the drum or into the jug?
Yes,
Okay.
Do you actually have a jug, Ian?
It
I
sounds
don't.
like he is.
I have a
Oh,
bottle.
glass.
It's a bottle.
A glass. All right.
Okay. We came here for something. Asking around about the meteor.
They will. You talk around the bar, and everyone has a story about it. Everyone in here is not a refugee, and they are just glad that their town didn't succumb to the melt, as they're calling it. See, the other towns were either built on top of the glacier itself, because they were mainly ice harvesting towns, or in the case of the safe harbor, it's sort of the valley sort of tips low, sort of like Toronto, where it's always the whole valley's on a slight downhill trajectory. So safe harbor was completely covered in mud. And basically got wiped out to thanks to a mudslide from the melting glacier.
Mm-hmm.
And there's sinkholes everywhere, and it's very dangerous to take any of the actual roads. You hear talk of there being bandits trying to pick off various other refugees, or just looting in general, anything they can find. And you also hear tell of the goblins of the Luna Valley acting even more aggressive than before. For what they know, they only know that it came down, and it was burning fire right over their heads, and some people did die either due to shock or a sonic blast that happened upon impact.
They are now called the Lucky Ones.
I thought the people who were here alive, not dead, were the lucky ones. And those people are the less unlucky ones.
It depends on your perspective. I will ask people if they know where the bandits are headquartered or where they camp.
Nobody seems to know where they're camped out, because again, everyone's kind of afraid to go too far out from the town with all the mudslides and sinkholes and everything else happening. But it is they are hassling travelers further to the south.
Noted.
Oh yeah, the glacier melted. We're lucky we were built on top of a plateau, they call it. So when everything melted, we were safe.
They took the high ground.
Yes, indeed. Old Tomar knew what he was doing.
Who indeed was this Tomar?
Ah, he was an old adventurer. Ages ago. You see, the glacier, underneath it, there must have been an ancient civilization. Occasionally you will get an opening in the ice, or go in through a cave to underneath where the ice was and find some treasure from a old civilization. Or maybe even a magic item. Tomar comes out here. He's and searching for a big haul. He claims he found a big haul in one of these caves somewhere, but he couldn't. It was too much for him to carry. And by the time he got out, winter was approaching. So he built a little makeshift lean-to and survived the winter on this here plateau. And then over time, he brought other adventurers with him to try and find this sort of big haul of his, but nobody could ever find it again. And eventually, he just set up a little inn and tavern, hosting other adventurers, and then it became a proper town. And then the ice trade started up in earnest, and Safe Harbor was founded.
And nobody ever found this big haul.
No. My guess, occasionally, my guess is maybe it was just a pocket, but then the ice covered it up again. Or there was a cave-in or something. I don't know.
Doesn't
That
every
could well be.
town have one of these stories? A big haul, or gold to be found? Isn't that quite common?
I'm pretty sure it is up here in the frontier area.
Are there any people who know of the older civilizations or some old elves we could perhaps chat with?
There is an old elf. His name is... One second.
Old
Second.
elf.
Interesting name.
Oh, god dang it. Oh, his name is Jalingi the Wise.
That seems a little pretentious.
Well, if you live near 1,000 years old, you can be as pretentious as you want.
And where would we come across this Jelingi?
Over there. And he'll point to the just to the north of the tavern. Number 16.
And I will look at Uthor and Kevin Alta and say, perhaps we should ask them about the ring or belt buckle that we found, and we'll let Tafina know that we found this old equipment in an old cairn as we were coming up to town.
I'm going to say you've been hunting in this valley for a while, and occasionally you'd find something with a similar motif.
You're referring to me, I'm assuming?
Yes, I'm referring to you, because you grew up here, right?
Yeah, well, it's not so much that I grew up here as this is the largest settlement from where I usually live, so I've made many, procurement runs from this area for supplies I need. That being said, so yeah, I probably would have come across it in my travels. And I will tell everyone as such that, I've seen stuff like this before, but I'm not exactly sure what it's from.
And also being of the town, you would also... Sorry, I have something in my throat. You could also take it to the goldsmith in town, Elred. Elred Olfusal as well.
Okay. I'm sure that guy does, he's to identify, I'm assuming? Is that what you mean?
Not so much as identify, but he is a jeweler, and he would know a lot of stuff about jewels.
All right, so where are we headed at first? The elf or the jeweler?
Or Summeth
the
as
elf
well.
is the elf is literally steps away, and then we should probably go visit Semeth.
Someth? Or Semeth. It's Someth, so I think it's Someth?
Okay. Does that sound agreeable?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds right.
All right, I guess we will head over to Jelingi the Wise's tent.
Don't old people go to bed really early? I think we should go to him first.
That is where we are going.
Okay.
He's an elf. They don't sleep.
Don't they trance? Isn't that kind of sleeping?
Civic conscience or whatever.
Okay, let's go.
Was a big word.
Jingly.
Yes. Jingly the Wise, or Jelingi the Wise.
There's no two L's. It's Jingly.
Jelingi.
There's no two L's.
It's Jing Lee the Wise.
No, that's a soft G. It's Jingsley.
You guys are all asses. Who cares? Let's just
We
keep
are.
going.
All right, from now on, he's the old elf.
Who cares?
Big J.
Old guy. Old elf.
All right, you make his way to his little tent he has. The wind is milder here on the northern edge of the village. A small teepee sits in the shadows of a tall hedge and two big trees. The oldest elf any of you have ever seen sits in a wicker chair, but outside the entrance flap, smoking a long pipe and stroking his even longer beard with calloused hands. A fire pit warms the hermit. His tan, wrinkled skin clashes with his bright young eyes and clean white robes. He looks up to you and smiles your way and says, "What? Have you never seen a bearded elf before?"
I admit I have not.
Is it a fake beard?
Can
It's
I
a real
touch it?
beard. Yes, you're fetching enough. Of course you can touch my beard.
I braid his beard.
Oh, that feels so lovely. So, what have you come to trouble an old man for?
Oh, who has the thing?
Oh, we found these in the valley. And I will pull them out and show them.
Oh. Yes. Yes. This is an
Yes?
old and a very ancient artifact, at least even to me. They used to rule. There's a group of elves called the Dula Darin, or the Star Elves, that used to rule all over this valley thousands of years ago. Before their civilization collapsed. Nobody really knows much about them, but it's a great find. They're apparently pretty powerful and strong with various magics. Have you come? Why are you showing me this?
We were wondering what it was. It was unearthed during the melt.
Well, I suppose it would. They were here before the glacier was here.
Do you know were they forest folk or mountain folk?
Forest folk. They but that doesn't mean they were barbarians, and he'll snort at that. They had quite a thriving civilization for a long time in these parts. But some calamity happened to them, and their civilization declined. I am a distant descendant of these folks. But that's the way the story goes. We used to rule this land. Something happened and we had to leave. Something dark and terrible.
It seems we have a bit of history repeating.
As all things, history always repeats itself.
What do you think of the goings on in town currently, Jilingi?
Well, I see a bunch of people who are afraid. I see a whole bunch of desperate people. I see... Honestly, I do, I see a city that was basically a powder keg before you arrived with some food. I see strange goings on. It seems that something has triggered, and the great wheels of history are turning again, and some great change is about to happen. But I'm not so sure what exactly it is.
Indeed, this thing from the sky may well be a harbinger of change. It certainly affected many people here.
Indeed, people say the gods can strike the earth with comets when they are angered by mortals. But I'm not sure how true that is.
Well, will we see you at the feast tonight?
There's a feast tonight. Oh, who's hosting the feast?
Well, I believe the military barracks will be putting out food for some people. You would be more than welcome to come by if you wish.
And he'll raise an eyebrow to that and say, I suspect the military is just treating you. They keep to themselves as much as possible. And aren't very much into sharing.
Have they been treating the people well, then?
Mostly well. They haven't caused any trouble, and when needed have kept the peace. But I wouldn't suspect... But they didn't necessarily share their rations either. You know, security of the Empire and all.
Oh, indeed. Who has been the trouble of the city?
Who hasn't been the trouble of the city? Everyone's at each other's throats. Everyone's blaming the refugees. All these factions are weaving their little lies and their little nonsense instead of banding together. Everyone's trying to dominate instead of surviving. Honestly, you have the nobles strutting around like the Serf Liberation Act never happened. You have those last Bastion Knights acting like they are more of an authority than the army. You have the army that's confused and wondering what the heck to do and licking their wounds. Then you have the people in the town and the town council. And the town councilor, I'm sure you met the mayor already, of course.
Did we?
Nope.
I can't remember.
Nope, you haven't. You just strolled right in.
Well, our first priority was the food delivery. Is the mayor Somath?
No. Although it would probably be better if it was. Good chap. He comes in and checks on me.
And where would we find the mayor?
Well, the mayor is in his house. Honestly, I'll warn you, even on a good day, he's in a foul mood. His name is scrolling, ferocious scrolling. His name is Bialin Viadas. I'm just going to copy and paste that right into the chat so that you can make fun of my pronunciation. He's the burgomaster or the mayor of the town. Honestly, I don't know how he keeps on getting reelected every 3 years.
Some people like the same people in charge. It makes them comfortable knowing what they've got, I guess. Could you point us to his abode?
Why, yes, it's over there, and on the map it is number 1. Which is located past the millery, all the way on the edge of town. So you guys are over here right now.
All right. Well, does anybody have anywhere else they wish to go, or should we head over to see the mayor and announce ourselves properly?
Probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm lukewarm on it, but follow the group.
I will use my court functionary background feature to know what the proper way to address the mayor and what the proper etiquette is for entering a town and introducing ourselves.
I'm guessing it was probably to go and introduce ourselves before we started running around doing shit to usurp power.
Yes!
Well, damn.
Technically speaking, although you do have the imperial authority, and you could just roll into town and take control of things. Although it is polite to show up and say, this is what's going down, by order of the king. And you will address him as your... Crap, I had this.
Burgership?
Burger.
The burgomaster.
Der Burgel? Das Burgel. Hamburglar.
No, not the hamburger. Let me look up
Comrade Burgermaster?
No, it's not. We aren't in the communist era yet. 1 second, looking up Russian noble titles.
Guess what Kevin's gonna
Czar.
start?
No, it's not a czar.
Rasputin. Oh, that's what I should have based my character on. I should have based the character on Rasputin.
Why? You'll just get shot and die.
No, he's
poisoned.
vulnerable.
Or hung.
But you have a
Or-
good
Yeah,
time
none of
before
that
you do.
happened. None of that
You know
ever
what?
happened.
Considering how Rasputin looked, being a crazed long-haired druid might not be too far away. You could always turn into him.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is true.
No, but he'd be a cleric. He'd be like a grave cleric or something.
Dovaryanen. Dovaryanen. Or you're well birthed.
I have no idea what we're talking about presently.
That's
That's
what
the
we're supposed to
title.
call them.
Okay, Dovarian. You know, I think because honestly, I remember when we were going to visit, or we were on a cart or something with a horse, going to visit the meteorite. So I must have missed a session or something because you guys are talking ahead, and I'm definitely lost.
Well, your first mission was to bring supplies to the refugees in the town.
Yeah. Okay.
For both Hecate, which is that was her church's mission, and then Kevin and Arcady are agents of the government. They are part of the bureaucracy, and this is
Okay.
sort of like government relief aid. They're also supposed to investigate what's going on And particularly Arcady and Kevin have a mission to sort of keep the peace.
Okay.
And, defeat any bandits, try and get things up and running again. On
Okay.
top of looking at the effects of the comet and reporting back and eventually investigating the comet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. I'm with you guys then. So we're going to visit the mayor first. Didn't we have someone to visit before the mayor, though?
Basically, just a reminder of, because it's been a while, Arcady and Kevin would know that Stanislaus Severin, who's your boss, sent you here and has a contact in the village named Someth, who he had met through his father ages ago. So that is someone in town that could be a trusted contact.
What was his name?
Someth Skullcleaver.
So a dwarf?
You don't know.
Sounds more orky.
Ding, ding, ding.
I mean, aren't they the same thing?
Orc last names are more violent.
All right, so which one are we headed to?
Which one are you headed to?
I will listen to whatever you guys want.
Well, we had the contact, we had the mayor, and who else? The feast?
The feast, which is happening in the royal, in the barracks later tonight.
Okay.
I say maybe we need to see the mayor first, and then we can try and track down the contact for Someth. Though he might be able to give us a better lay of the land.
You would know, both Kevin and Arcady, that you could use the fact that you could, if the mayor is upset, you could use like the military as sort of a justification for it. Well, we had to go to the military first.
Okay.
Oh, already planning on that.
Excellent. Oh yeah, you work in government in real life. You know how things work.
Blame the other guy?
No, just when this
Just
is a matter
don't
of
do
national
anything and
security.
wait to see if anybody finds out.
That's not fair. Us government servants actually work very hard. Don't say
All right,
that.
we will. I'm saying that about myself.
Ah, okay.
Technically.
All right, yes. I guess we will head to the mayor's house.
All right.
How's Uthor looking?
Fine.
Did you have any more alcohol?
Uthor has very little tolerance because he has never drank it before, and he drank some basically Everclear.
Beat shine.
All right, you enter into Alien's home. I guess that's how you say it. A small wood door creaks open into this one-room plank building with a loft. Everything inside is very simple. A fire pit smolders in the center of the house, smoking out and opening in the peeling ceiling above. Filthy cooking tools and pots sit by the fire next to a basin of water. The loft contains a straw mattress on the floor. It does not seem like this shack will survive the next windstorm. You see a wizened man covered in painted sigils and wearing dirty robes, looking up from skinning a muskrat as you enter. One of his eyes is a vacant white orb. He twists his mouth in anger as he looks your way. What do you want? You've been making what are you doing here anyway?
I am Inspector Arkady Renko. This is my associate Kevin Hill.
Your Honor.
These are other folk that have been aligned with us as we have been sent here from the capital to bring food to the military and the refugees and hopefully take care of your bandit problem in the area, sir.
I'll take finally a bit of good news. I presume, like all good little bureaucrat, you trounced over local authority and just started doing as you pleased? I can smell the bread being made over here. I presume that's you?
Well, in terms of our deliveries to the military, yes, it behooved us, of course, to get their stomachs filled and get the bread out to the refugees so we would prevent any kind of upset or potential rioting as we arrived with food.
He'll snort again and says, a very bureaucratic and formal answer, of course. Oh, well, if you're going to do my work for me, that's fine. Just remember who's actually in charge of the town for the time being.
I have no interest in any of the politics in town. My job was to deliver the food, and it is done. Our next step is presumably we are going to go look after the bandits and see where this flaming rock fell into the ground.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I can tell you what happened to the rock. The rock fell from the sky. It messed everything up. The end. I just want to make sure I don't have a food right on my hands.
What are the prospects for hunting or food in the area?
Well, given all the mouths we have to feed and the glacier melting, it's not as good of a... It's not very good hunting grounds. Honestly. The food supplies have gotten short. I'm afraid we won't even with these supplies, we won't survive the winter. You will bring in more food, correct? His Majesty loves us frontier folk, the soul of Heiko so much, right?
I have put in a request for more food. I would assume that the Gray family, who has so generously donated this batch, would certainly be able to provide more.
Oh, really? The Grays?
I know, it's a little surprising to myself that they seem to be so ready and generous.
Whatever. He got him to, I don't blame him. That Abella was a fine-looking girl. He just wants to get in on the good side of this new king, I suppose. Butter him up a bit, make him forget about his whole, running off with his aunt.
Oh, presumably there's an ulterior motive. Sycophancy has always been the first move of the nobility.
Of course, of course.
Would you know where the bandit camp is located, since they've been harassing some of the travelers?
The ruins of an old fort, I've heard. Fort Frostfell. And apparently these goblins aren't just robbing and killing people. They're carrying people off as well, if some of these refugees are to be trusted.
That's terrible.
I think we should look into that.
Why, yes, you should, fine strapping young adventurers you are. Just be sure you put in those requisition forms for me before you go, huh?
Paperwork. Blah. Okay.
long as it brings food in here and people aren't banging on my door begging. In
Moving
fact,
paper mountains is part of my job, sir. I will absolutely ask for everything we can get.
good. Be a good little bureaucrat for me. And hey, if you deal with this Frostvale Goblin problem, I hear their leader is called the Dorkeg. I'll give you 200 gold if you return with the head of this Gorkeg for me.
Is it okay if the head's not in greatest condition?
I want it identifiable if possible.
So not the face. Gotcha.
Yeah, you know, anywhere but the face. On top of it all, I might, if you're going out, I want you to look for my niece. Her name is Aaliyah Thurnius. I heard she at least survived the initial disaster, and she left Safe Harbor with a group of refugees. But she hasn't gotten up here yet, and I'm getting concerned. I'll give you 100 gold if you're able to find her.
That's 300 gold. We can do thing. That's not bad.
Do you have a description?
Yes, I do, and he will give you a description of what she looks like. Which is not in this section of the module.
But it means should we ever come across her, you will say, you remember this girl based on her description.
Absolutely.
We will bring you her head.
No, you're supposed to bring the other guy's head. The other guy's head.
We will bring you her head and also the rest of her.
Alive.
Attached.
Yes,
to the head.
attached. Unless someone else has done that for us.
Don't worry, sir. Heads will be brought.
And they won't be rolling.
Just do those for me, will you?
We will certainly do our best. It was lovely meeting you, and hopefully you can call on us if there is anything else you need for the town.
I am His Majesty's dutiful freeman servant, after all. And he will do kind of almost like a mocking bow.
We are indeed in the same boat.
You're not half bad. And then he will look at you all expectingly to, like, get a move on and leave me alone sort of facial expression.
Like he's done with us?
Yes, like, you now excuse yourselves. He's not... You get the sense that he's not one for small talk.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of strange how he became the burgermaster.
Yep, let's head out.
Yeah, we'll head out.
All right. Yeah, if we've left, then I will go. That guy was an asshole.
Oh, he is a mid-tier asshole compared to some of the capital people we've met, eh, Kevin?
Oh, now, sir, you've just got to remember that these are just simple farmers. These are the people of the land, the common clay of the New North. You know, morons.
That was a very quick joke.
I actually thought about it about 20 minutes ago, and I've had it up on my screen.
Are we done?
Well, you're done here. Is there anywhere you would like to go next?
Let's go try and track down Summith.
Okay.
Okay, Salmath is located around 14 or 10. Let me check.
Oh, we just keep walking back and forth across this town.
Pretty much.
Not that big of a town.
I'm not that big of a person.
Hasn't been
You
that
could
bad.
ride Sasha with me.
Aren't you riding your dog?
I am
Sasha's
riding
not
my
a dog.
It's a raccoon.
No, I have a dog. I have a riding dog.
Number 14 is roughly where he is, so you guys are heading over there. A small open, you see a sign of a woodshop saying, "The Elegant Saw." A small open woodshop sits next to a well-built log cabin. The smell of fresh-cut timber has you taking notice of a dwindling stack of firewood sitting next to the wood shop. Sawdust clouds the air as a burly, middle-aged half-orc moves his scarred arm in a blur, sawing a log in half. Sweat pours down his focused face, black hair pulled back into a ponytail, eyes squinted. He looks up and offers a smile and a nod. "How can I help you?" And then begins to continue on his work.
Oh, so it's like an episode of Law and Order.
Yes. Oh, and then as you come up to talk to him, you see a group of refugees coming by and sheepishly staring at this sort of pile of wood. Someth will look at him and say, please, take all that you need. Although I would like an able body here next morning in return to help me gather some more wood for everyone. Is that a deal?" And they all shake their heads and agree, and they take some wood from the pile. "Sorry about that. What can I help you with?"
I'll nudge Kevin.
Oh, wait, sorry. What? I kind of zoned out there for a second.
Oh, let me bring it up, Someth. Yeah, this is the contact that Severin told you about.
Oh, right. What's his name again?
Someth Skullcleaver.
Mr. Skullcleaver, we're here from, what was it, Solmeth? No, the guy that
Stanislaw Severin.
we're here from Severan.
Ah, Severin! He told me he was sending some friends of his up here to deal with our problems. So I take it you're Kevin and you're Arcady? Pointing at each one of you.
Yes, sir.
He even paid for a sending spell. Let's talk inside, shall we? If we're going to talk about old friends and the like.
All right. We'll follow him in, I guess.
He will bring you into his house, and he will introduce you to his family. Where is this? Oh, there it is. He introduces you. This is my wife, Linda. She's a human. And these are my 4 boys, Braydane, Illith, Quill, and Fernum. His wife will make you up a nice little batch of tea, and you all sit down around a kitchen table and says, "So, what plans does Stanislaw have?"
Oh, I don't.
He wants us to take care of the bandits and just deliver food and find out what exactly happened in the wilderness.
Old Stanislaw. He always saw an opportunity to do good and earn some political clout at the same time.
Indeed.
I'm just glad he uses his skills to mostly help people.
Mostly.
Mostly. Well, I was actually outside when this occurred, when the comet struck, or the meteorite, or whatever they call it. I was out just harvesting some wood when this bright light suddenly filled the sky, and I felt like my body was going to burn up from all this sudden heat. And then, like, as soon as it arrived, it was gone. But then it actually hit, knocked me straight into flat on the ground, along with a couple of trees. I'm just lucky I wasn't flown back and broke my skull open.
Was it from the sky, or did it seem like it came from somewhere else?
Definitely from the sky. And I don't know any magic spell that could have, like, the same effect.
Isn't there one that makes like a whole swarm of those?
In a very concentrated area, however. This was way bigger than anything like that. Yes, I've seen a wizard cast meteor swarm back in my day, during the border wars with the Transoxian Empire.
You fought in the war?
Yes, I believe I met your father once.
Lucky.
Yes, indeed, that brilliant man, absolutely brilliant. Everyone, at the time, everyone thought he was, didn't think he had it in him because he was so short. But he just had this insane military mind. He just had a knack for it. Got us out of a jam and saved our lives.
Yes, it's his very distinguished career. I'm sorry I missed most of it.
You would have been a little kid at the time, wouldn't you?
Oh, far too young to really know what was going on.
Indeed, indeed. But I signed up as part of the Hostian host. Did my time there and came back home and settled down here with my wife. She didn't want to go completely into Hostian territory. She's too much of a human for that. But this was a good compromise.
Indeed, it seems like it was a lovely township before the disaster. What could you tell us about your Mayor Vieras? He doesn't seem like a political type.
Oh, he is definitely not the political type, but, and he'll lean in closer to you and even take a look outside the window really quickly before saying this. I think he has spies. I've occasionally seen people coming sneaking in and out of his house late at night. There's definitely a reason why. Basically, let me back up here for a moment. We are a Freeman Township and have Freeman and have been for hundreds of years. We hold elections every 3 years, and anyone who lives in the town can vote in them. But for the past, say, 15 or so years, it's all been ruled by Bijalin, and typically it's only the same. There's 4 members of the council, and the same 4 people run every year, pretty much unopposed. The minute someone tries to run against him, they quite quickly drop out of the race. Someone's been convincing them to drop out of the race. The minute anyone gets out of line, they're really quickly brought back into it.
The nail that stands up gets hammered down.
Very much so.
One of my father's favorite sayings.
That is true.
And what about this barkeep? He seemed less than pleased to see all the refugees.
Journey. He's always been like that. He's outwardly friendly, but is exceptionally judgy deep down inside. He built that bar with his own bare hands, he likes to say, and hates, he pulled himself up by his bootstraps, and why can't anyone else do it? Rough, rough, rough. And he does, like, this really poor impression of him.
Kevin will reach down and try and pull up by his bootstraps.
No, not like that! Gah!
and fall over.
You're stronger than you look.
Oh, don't
That's-
worry, sir.
That's not very hard. He doesn't look very strong.
He'll snort.
Do you know where this Fort Frostfell with the goblins is?
Oh, there's goblins in Fort Frostfell. Well, I suspect that they would be there. The fort has been abandoned for quite a while. When they built Fort Icewind, it was the old fort before they built Fort Icewind during the border wars. So it's just been sitting abandoned ever since. It's a perfect place for goblins and bandits to hide. But I can show you on a map.
Could you please?
Yes, indeed. I'm getting out the map right now. It would be... Oh, crap. 1 second. How to dissect the cat from the book. It's over on yonder, and he'll show you on the map. It's actually not too far away. You could get... Ah, there it is.
Okay.
I put the 0 on the map. Let me make it smaller.
There's nowhere for you to like reveal the name.
No. Where the 0 is, that's Fort Frostfell.
Where the tower is next to it, or just where the zero is?
Where the tower next to the 0. The tower
All right.
icon is Fort Frostfell.
Question. What do I know of that area and things that we might come across that would impede us on the trek, and what preparations might be best because of that?
You would know that there's been mudslides and sinkholes, so you have to watch out for that. This was in an area with a lot of... This was an area where the ice was pretty thick, so be warned. Other than that, with the ice melting, there's not much out there, honestly. It used to be just a big sheet of ice, and then a small forest next to a fort. That was about it.
Okay.
Should we
Well,
head to
is it-
there next?
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't it night or something right now? Or
It's
what
getting
time?
into
Getting close.
nighttime.
How about we rest and then we head out in the morning?
You do have your feast at the officers' hall tonight.
Oh, that's true. Okay, to the feast then. And then try not to party too hard though.
Yeah, and we'll tell Somath we will check back in, and if there's anything else he can think of to let us know that we need to worry about in or out of town, to please feel free to contact us.
Mhm.
He definitely wants you to take care of those goblins that are holding up in the Frostfell. And he says, while you're out there, can you do me a favor? I'm missing an old friend of mine, Harliet Crusade. She hasn't been seen since the impact, and and I'm getting really worried about her. She saved my life during the border war. and I sort of owe her a favor. She was definitely in the region when the comet hit us, and it's strange that she hasn't shown up in town. I go myself, but I can't leave my wife and children.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see her, she has short cropped blonde hair and is a very tall, tall, strong woman. Trust me, you'll know her when you see her.
We will endeavor to find her.
Oh, thank you so much. I don't have much I could give you, but I could give you an old suit of plate armor I have. It's not doing me well these days anyway.
Anybody wear plate?
Good question. Does any one of your characters wear plate?
Nope.
Not.
Tara's might.
Bear what?
Oh
I
yeah,
see that.
Tara's a cleric.
Yeah, but depends what kind of cleric, because not all of them get heavy armor proficiency.
Oh.
Tempest or the storm one. Is it Tempest?
Tempests, I think, do get heavy armor.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, Tempest do.
I can't remember the
So
name
does
of it.
War.
Okay, so we go to the feast, I guess, then?
Yes. Yes, you'll go to the feast.
And before that starts, I just want to approach the head and ask him if he knows Fort Frostfell, or if anyone here was ever part of it, if they'd be able to draw us a layout of it.
I never went there myself, but maybe you can ask around in the military camp. There might be someone still old enough to remember when it was the main camp or the main fort in this area.
Even if they don't know the layout, any defenses would be nice to know.
Well, it was your old-fashioned stone fort. You know, before they developed cannons and the like. It has big, thick walls, so it should have survived.
Was it on a plateau?
Yes. It was on a plateau, a high one looking over a good part of the valley.
Perhaps it would be a good place to move the refugees if we clear it out.
Oh, might be a good idea. Maybe now that the glacier is melted, we don't have the ice harvest anymore, but maybe this mud can be turned into soil and we could start planting some crops. At least feed ourselves.
Okay.
To the feast?
To the feast! You know what? This is a good point for a 5-minute break. So grab a refreshment and go. And let's go.
Okay. Be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back.
Everyone else back?
Back.
Don't hear anyone else, so I will hold up on it.
Back. I heard other people come back.
I am back. I don't know if you're aware, Stephanie, but Ian is back.
I am
back.
very much aware because he is sitting right next to me.
I'm back as well.
Almost as if we're married and then thus live with each other.
That's the joke.
Can you guys hear me?
Okay,
Okay?
hang on. That's the
Yep.
joke.
That's the joke.
All that matters is that Patrick knows the reference thing.
And I'm back.
Excellent, excellent. All right. So you have just finished meeting with Sameth, which is Severan's contact here in the Luna Valley. And you make your way over to Fort Icewind for the military feast.
All right.
Hold on, I just gotta find the guy's picture. Hewberg Greyborn is the commandant of Fort Icewind before it was destroyed. And he brings you back into the encampment, and you've discovered that this sort of rough lean-to that you first came into the last time that didn't quite have a roof just yet has now hobbled together a roof thanks to some of the nails and other supplies Kevin brought.
Wait, what? I brought?
Yeah, she said you brought like a whole bunch of different supplies in your little boat thing.
Yeah, but that was for us.
You're bringing nails and screws for us?
I brought everything.
Did you literally buy one of everything?
Yeah, pretty much. Few exceptions, but pretty much.
Did you buy a telescope?
No.
We could have pooled our money and bought one telescope.
Feast, 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 feast.
Mm-hmm.
Feast. All right, you were brought into a exquisite military banquet. You are brought to the head of the table and are greeted with honor. There is a fake sword fight that plays out in front of you, and there's even a little bit of music. After you drink your first course, Hewberg stands up and says, "To the saviors of Fort Icewind, hip hip hooray!
Huzzah.
Huzzah!
Ah, shucks, I didn't do nothing.
You gave us food, and that's enough for us."
You were already here.
I literally did nothing. I just showed up.
But he's got a cool raccoon.
Get him! Get him out of here! He doesn't belong!
You assisted in the distribution of food. That is a something.
All right, so we enjoyed the feast, I guess, and that's our long rest.
You do enjoy the feast, and during the feast, Hewberg sort of pulls you all aside, and or after the main course, Hewberg invites you back for a bit of dessert and a end of the night drink in his private office, and also to discuss some paperwork as well. He brings you in and then shuts the door and turns to you and says, very formally, Thank you so much for bringing these supplies to us and coming to us first. These supplies are exceptional and just it's just nice to have some good food after hard tack and weakened ale for weeks and for weeks. Would you like a bit of brandy?
Ooh, candy juice. Yes, please, sir.
And he'll take out his shot glass and pour everyone a tiny bit of brandy. And go Serpovia! And down a shot.
I guess I follow him. Never having had brandy before.
This is a bad decision I'm about to make.
Oh, don't worry. This is what we gave kids on some made-up holiday I haven't bothered to make up.
Candlemas!
Candlemas.
This makes me worry more. And then Uthor will down his and almost spit it out.
No, it's actually quite smooth and delicious. It's from my private effects. I've been saving it for a rainy day or for bartering, but you all seem like very capable fellows, and he'll turn to Arcady and say, "It was mentioned that you are here to keep the peace. Is that right? The king's peace?"
As best we can, we are here to get rid of the goblins and the banditry. I don't know how much more we can do, but hopefully the food will have eased tensions somewhat.
It has. I was afraid we were going to have a complete riot on our hands, and my people do not want to put down a riot. The famine is still fresh in many minds here. And the famine was something that happened about 10 to 15 years ago. During the liberation of the serfs. It was one of the aftershocks of the liberation. A bunch of serfs just left farming, and as a result, the food supply dwindled.
Are there seeds or other things ready to plant if we can get the ground drier at least?
Well, I'm sure some of the farmers and the like have some, but well, despite this heat, it's supposed to be nearing winter. But I don't know what's going on with the weather. Honestly, it's quite unnatural for this time of year.
I would say this heat is unnatural for most any time of year.
But for now, we are safe and relatively stable, and we have something a bit closer to home to deal with. Have you heard about bandits and goblins?
Indeed, we have heard the goblins are at Fort Frostfell, and we hope to head out there in the morning. I've been asking around to see if anyone here knows what the layout was beyond these thick stone walls. And we are hoping perhaps we can move some refugees there if we get to clear it out, as it's probably safe.
I can give you in the morning before you leave, I'll give you a rough outline of Fort Frostfell. And I have a bit of a confession to make, as long as this stays off the record.
There's a record?
Oh, we're both government chaps. There's always a record.
Kevin
Arcady looks over at looks over at Kevin and just gives us a slight nod.
I'll put my notepad away.
These goblins have never been your sort of usual sort of goblins. For the most part, goblins are rough around the edges, but if as long as they mostly won't attack our settlements as long as they have enough food for their own people and the like. But these ones in the Luna Valley have always been strange. They keep themselves isolated from even any other goblin tribes, I hear, and are far more aggressive than usual. Also, this particular tribe of goblins called the Barril Harb tribe seem to be are being led by a human warrior of great skill, a human wizard, and a terrible undead wight. And I know this because we fought them before. I've told you in the past that Fort Icewind collapsed with the mudslides and everything else. That isn't quite the truth. The mudslides and the aftershocks ruined some of our defenses, but we were hoping to rebuild and stabilize the area. However, that's when the goblins attacked. They captured we underestimated them. They breached our weakened defenses and captured many of us. The ones that are here barely survived. They burnt after we left. They ended up burning Fort Icewind to the ground.
What were their numbers?
Hundreds. Which is quite unusual. And there were at least three, the human warrior, the human wizard, and some undead white-looking thing were amongst them as well. They had strange alchemical weapons that tore through some of my soldiers. I haven't quite seen the like of them. I wanted to go out and do another counterattack, but we're far too weakened. But
have you done any scouting at least on their fort?
Yes, I have. We've killed a small troop or scout of theirs, of course, but nothing much. They are shoring up the defenses of Fort Frostfell. They're laying new stonework and propping up defenses, like far more organized than most goblins are.
Well, it sounds like they have a leader, so that's probably why. So, shall we get some sleep? Is there any more information?
They're kidnapping people.
Let me guess, slave labor?
That's what we think. But we haven't seen any of these slaves on the outside building. It's quite peculiar. I mean, most of the time, goblins, if they attack, will either just, shove a knife down, at your throat and say, "Give me your wallet," and leave, or they'll just kill you. The taking of prisoners is peculiar for them.
What is their food supply if there are so many?
Well, there's enough dead animals all around. I guess they're harvesting from the carcasses.
That's not healthy.
Goblins
the
have
people.
That's a bad sign.
Goblins have stomachs of steel. They can eat what most humans can't. And I believe they've taken before they torched for Icewind to the ground. I believe they took a significant number of our supplies.
If we do scout and manage to, I don't know, figure something out, are your men and perhaps the other military folk here willing and able to lead an assault? It sounds a little much for just our small band of adventuring folk.
Yes, I wouldn't expect you to go into direct combat. I'm thinking you guys could make a good strike team. Sneak in, try and take out their leaders, and leave. They will eventually collapse into chaos, and then we can take them over.
Indeed, I don't think my badge will carry any weight with them.
What do you
No.
mean? It's at least 3 or 4 ounces.
That's not what he means. Do this, and, we might be able to leverage this victory to secure voting rights for my people and make them official citizens of Tomar's Crossing. Technically, the laws are peculiar, but this was a freeman town before serf liberation, and as a result, according to the official bylaws, you have to officially be living in the town for at least a year before you can vote. However, by decree, you can become a citizen. I want that decree. I want us to have voting rights in this town, if this is the only town that's going to survive. It's for national security, of course. I mean, we do lay our lives down for king and country, so I don't understand why they won't just give us it in the first place. We've kept the peace here. We've deserve it.
Indeed, it seems the mayor here is very comfortable in his leadership chair and does not want to do anything to give it up.
That is true. He's up to something. He's downright greasy, that one, as they say back home.
We used to say crooked as a stick in water.
That's a good one. Oh, that's right. Are you Kirill's boy?
Indeed, my father is the Renko that is the military genius.
I never met a better expert at artillery than him, and cavalry tactics as well. Seeing him on the battlefield was a joy. Totally underestimated him the first time I saw him, if you don't mind me saying.
I have heard many people talk of his war heroics, and I mean, he is very fond of his nickname, the Butcher. It is something he earned.
That's right, and he earned it well. Sadly, in the armed forces, too many of our captains and other officers were third and fourth children of the aristocracy that didn't know how to hold a sword, and were more concerned with how the regiments looked and dressed and behaved than actual battle tactics or training. All they cared about was getting the honor for their house. Your father, however, actually knew how to fight. Not sure we would have won without him.
Yes, he certainly felt that way as well. I'm hopeful I can do for the people here what he did, but hopefully by uncovering what this mayor is up to and finding out a way to help everyone. I'm sure I speak for the group that we are more than happy to go deal with the leadership of these goblins if we can find a way to sneak into the fort.
Yes, there's pay in it, of course, even though it is on your official business. You will be doing a good service for the regiment, and I have authority to set out a bounty. I will give you 5 gold for every pair of goblin ears you bring to me. And 20 gold for the each for the heads of those humans in the white.
Wait, aren't there hundreds of goblins? Do you have thousands of gold to hand out?
I'm not expecting you are going to kill them all, but I do have the budget. That is within my purview as commandant. And I presume the capital will be sending me more funds, along with food and supplies as the weeks go on. Much like yourself, of course.
It has been requested. If I could just get your signet ring at the bottom of this page, that would hurry the requisition along.
Of course. And he will put a signet ring, sign in triplicate. There you go. This food isn't going to last, but it is a good respite for the time being. We're going to need another shipment soon. Even though with this blasted... I would say it would be because winter is coming, but with this blasted heat, I'm not sure if winter will ever come.
Alta suddenly wakes up. She's like, "Oh, the party's... Let's keep partying!" And then she looks around and she falls asleep again.
I like this one.
Mm-hmm.
She is a feisty one, isn't she?
Yes. Let's go kick some goblin butt.
I like your attitude, young lady.
Mm-hmm.
Is Alta talking in her sleep?
Yes, she is actually.
Any other questions you guys have?
Nope.
He'll turn to you, Kevin, and shake. That was officially off the record.
Oh, is it back on the record? No.
No. I don't want the king realizing that we've had a bit of a setback.
Absolutely.
But the agreement to pay us funds for helping to secure the fort, that is on the record, right?
Oh yes, well, I have the power to set a bounty, and this is involved in my duties to defend the land, the valley from bandits and whatnot.
Okay, so you and Kevin here are going to go over what's on the record, and that will go on the record.
Correct.
Cool.
Mostly just the money.
Have you ever thought of a job in the bureaucracy, Tafina? You seem very well suited.
I'm too perceptive for government work.
Do you know who this warrior or human wizard are?
No, I've never seen them before, and they also kept, of course, like all shadowy figures, kept their features hidden behind either a helmet or some type of mask. And in fact, I didn't realize they were there until it was too late. A couple of fireballs, and there goes a good chunk of my enlisted men.
What other spells did you see besides fireballs?
Some frost spells, some sort of withering spell. I don't quite know the name of it. And one of them seemed to fly above the air, so one of them has the fly spell. And the other one acted really quickly, so they must have access to, what is it called? Haste. Correct.
Well, we are skilled in our own way. Hopefully we will be able to neutralize them as best we can and catch them off guard.
I hope so too. We need to reestablish some sort of economy here, or else this valley is doomed. I'm not sure how the Empire is going to make up for the ice trade in this region.
Well, you said there were mudslides, right?
Yes, mudslides.
Well, in theory, when there's mudslides, it brings in new earth, in which case we might have a great, thriving cropland in front of us.
Yes, and maybe, just maybe, there will be a new dungeon to mine. Find ourselves some old magic items, huh?
Indeed, or perhaps, I mean, with the mud, and if this heat continues, we can open somewhere for the nobility to come and have some fancy mud baths.
I like your style. Come out to the countryside and bask in the soul of Russia, and then immediately return to the
Russia?
capital, or the soul of Hykos. Son of a bitch.
All right, so we head there.
Yes,
Yeah,
we'll head
that's-
there in the morning, because this is a good spot to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As we're leaving, I'll just ask Tafina, can you get us there quietly?
Well, I mean, I do have skills in tracking and moving, but
If we go in
Sasha
the
and I
morning,
aren't the most stealthy of individuals, but with our, somewhat loud armor.
I can get us there quietly.
In the morning.
I would need to prepare a spell.
All right.
Alrighty, and with that, I will end the stream. I would like to thank everyone who was chatting today. Blood Moon and ZLT, our super fans. And then I would also like to thank Angel of Light, Commander Root, Electrical Longboard, Lurk, and S1 Faka for watching. Catch us. Are we playing tomorrow, Patrick?
Absolutely.
Catch us tomorrow for Legacy of the Crystal Shard. Bye-bye.